All right, high rollers, today, one of the most exciting games in the casino. In certain parts of the world, it's the game to play. Omaha. Now, I've personally watched some very, very big PLO cash games. They can get crazy. Today, we keep it modest. Our guest is the author of Strategies to Beat Small Stakes Pot Limit Omaha from Beginner to Winner in 28 Lessons. He's a coach at PokerStrategy.com. He's on Twitch. He's at Rulaz Poker on Twitter. And he just finished a master's degree in computer science. A true young gun, folks. Matthias Poom, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being our high roller today.
Hi, Derek. Thanks for having me here.
Hey, it's much appreciated. You know, I got my first taste of big-time PLO in Barcelona about 10 years ago. I was at the Grand Casino playing a tournament. I wandered over to the cash area and I watched these guys splash the pot time and again. Those PLO games can get quite big, right? It seems like they're always saying pot, pot, pot.
Yeah, exactly. So the dealers have to do a really good job.
Now, those are pretty big games. What you're talking about is how to beat the smaller games, how to become a winner in just 28 lessons. So how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I always liked to watch the videos, especially from PokerStrategy.com, which was the site where I learned playing the poker from the beginning. And yeah, then I quickly switched over to Pot Limit Omaha, and I really loved the game, and I really wanted to learn the theory and everything about the game. So yeah, that's basically how I came to PLO.
Now, what do you like about PLO? Because the game is really catching on, isn't it? A lot of people love this game. It's high action, it's high energy. But for a guy like you, you can study this game and figure out ways to beat it because there's so much action, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just, there are so many things, so many small things which mix up or which add up. And yeah, I think that's the beauty of the game.
Is it safe to say that PLO has taken over for No Limit Hold'em in certain spots of the world?
Yeah, I definitely can see it, especially, as you mentioned in the beginning, in casinos, it's getting more and more popular, which I really like.
And whereabouts are you? I recognize the accent there. Is it Austria?
Yes, I'm from Austria.
And what's the poker scene like there?
Yeah, it's still a little bit more leans towards No Limit Hold'em. I can definitely see PLO becoming big there as well.
You know, the game that I play, my game of choice is Omaha High-Low. It seems to suit my style. I was a tight Hold'em player, and for some reason my style seems to work in Omaha High-Low. I love watching PLO, though. What are some of the problem areas that people switching over from Hold'em face when they decide to take Pot Limit Omaha?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between No Limit and PLO, especially hand strength. Like, people coming from No Limit, they will definitely overvalue like small pocket pairs in PLO, or those beautiful looking double-suited rundowns where they think they can play any pot with them, and that's just not the case.
So in PLO, then, hand selection becomes very important.
Yeah, and I think it's very difficult in the beginning, and that's also where my book starts at. Like, there is a dedicated chapter which focuses on hand selection. So you have one page where all the starting hands or all the open raising hands are listed, one page where all the defending, free betting, fold to free betting hands are listed, both in position and out of position. And I think that's a very great point to start out, both for beginners as well as for people who switch from No Limit to PLO.
Your book is called Strategies to Beat Small Stakes Pot Limit Omaha. I've got to get a copy. You can really take a guy from beginner to winner in 28 lessons. I mean, you start from right at zero?
Yeah, exactly. I think this was the biggest barrier in writing the book. Like, how can you structure a book that suits both beginners and intermediate players so that the beginners aren't overwhelmed and the intermediate players don't have an easy ride.
Now, you talked about hand selection. It's funny, you know, especially a very active player in No Limit Hold'em, any two cards kind of guy, the action guy, the table captain, comes over to PLO. Now, all of a sudden, he's got 4 cards, right? Yeah. He's got to play every hand. So hand selection is crucial. What are some other areas, you know, maybe after the flop that players really have to keep in mind when they're playing PLO?
After the flop, I think a very big deal is relative versus absolute hand strength. Like, on the river, top pair can be an easy call against the bet. And on the other hand, second full house can be an easy fold if someone bets or raises, given the action before, given the range they represent. So I think that's also a point where a lot of people struggle with. They aren't able to fold their weak flush. They just want to look up people too often, even if they might know that they might be beat. So I think that's overestimating hand strength in PLO is a very big deal.
I want to talk more about that because, pre-flop, it seems like you're never worse than 40%. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I've heard. You're never worse than 40% pre-flop in PLO. So my question is defending. Defending a raise. What hands do you defend a raise with if you're getting 40% equity?
I mean, that's a very general question. I mean, it's, of course, highly dependent on our position, on who was the open raiser, what was the exact action before us. So I am not sure if I can.
Well, let me break it down this way. Let me break it down this way then. Should you be defending more from, say, the big blind to a raise in PLO?
Yeah, big blind is definitely most likely the position where you defend the most of the hands in PLO. Definitely, yeah, given the good price and the high equity you already mentioned.
All right, let's talk about Twitch. You're on Twitch. You're streaming poker. You're coaching people. Tell me about that. Do you like that avenue for poker players to live stream and get out to the public that way?
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it very much. I mean, I always liked coaching people and also producing videos. That's just my thing. And on Twitch, I think it's a perfect platform to build up your own little community and give them some advice and, spread the word about PLO, because I think it's a really great game, and people should know that it's very, very nice.
Absolutely. It's a great game. It's a lot of action. Now, one thing, and this is for all variants of poker, the players struggle with is moving up stakes, right? You start off small, you start to win. When do you make the jump? What are some of the things you have to look out for as you're trying to move up to bigger games?
You should definitely be confident about your game. So it's not just a bankroll. It doesn't matter how big your bankroll basically is. If you don't know that you beat the game, moving up is just not a wise choice in my opinion. Since variance is so big in this game, which is also a difference between PLO and No Limit Hold'em. If you compare a winning player or a graph of a winning player in PLO with a winning player in No Limit Hold'em, it's just crazy. I mean, there are like 100k, 200k break-even stretches in PLO, whereas in No Limit Hold'em, that's, I think, not possible for a decent winning player. So yeah, basically you can win your whole monthly income within one day.
Wow.
And also lose it. So that's very sick, and that's why I think you have to have a very, very solid mindset in order to succeed in PLO as well.
Well, let's talk about that then, because you're right. That is pretty sick, man. There's lots of swings. Now, I noticed on your website that you list your strengths as tilt resistant, which you'll need if there are swings, right? Patience, self-criticism, ability to acquire new skills, and motivation, which I know you have.
Yeah, those are definitely key characteristics you have to acquire. And I think it's if you are having a hard time in PLO, like those 100k break-even or losing stretches, then it's really tough because you don't know, is it me? Do I play bad or do I just run bad? Maybe am I missing something in my game? And that's why I think you definitely have to start out somewhere and take advice of people who are better than you.
You know, that's something very important in poker, not just PLO, but all games, the self-criticism, right? Because some players, when they're going through a hard spell, they think that the cards are running bad when actually they're playing bad. They don't really view themselves in the way they should be viewing themselves, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly like it. And also, if you have a winning session, then are you really sure that you played everything well? I mean, in that moment where you win, you might be, but maybe the next day you play exactly the same and lose like 20 buy-ins. Are you then still confident that you're really doing fine? And yeah, this is why I definitely would recommend that you know the theory behind PLO. And it's a lot of stuff. There are a lot of concepts which you have to learn in order to feel confident about your game and be able to take those swings as well.
Well, you can find out a lot of facts and strategies, tips about PLO at pokerstrategy.com. It's the website you're with. Tell us about pokerstrategy.com. What can people find there?
Yeah, Poker Strategy is a poker school, and they also produce very great content. I mean, I started out there. You will get $50 if you start out. So that's basically for completely for free. There are also strategy articles which also help you to get into the games, and also a lot of video material and big forums. So definitely a good place to start out, in my opinion.
Well, congratulations on the book, man. You're now aligned with dnbpoker.com, a great publishing company whose stable of authors include the likes of Phil Hellmuth, Jonathan Little, Alex Fitzgerald, Chris Moorman, Mike Sexton. I mean, you're in good company, man. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, that was my goal. I mean, I thought about who would be a nice publisher for my book, and I just thought about DNB Poker as basically the only option. So I tried it out and really hoped that they would pick me. And yeah, since it worked out, I'm very, very thankful. So yeah, that's very cool.
Well, one of the, again, strengths that you have is motivation. I know you're in your early 20s. You've got a master's degree. You've written a book. You're live streaming. I mean, you're just going for it, buddy. I mean, what's the end goal with all of this, Matthias? What are you going to do in poker?
Yeah, so at the moment, my goal is not to move up the stakes to the high stakes, but more, the Twitch thing. I want to build up a community where I want to get established there, and the intention of the book was also to have one state-of-the-art material which might be the best on the market. So I definitely want to push it there and try to establish myself as the best coach for small stakes plot limit Omaha.
And you can really take a guy from beginner to winner in 28 lessons, right? I come to you, I say, Matthias, I want to win at PLO. You can accomplish that for me, right?
I can't do it for you, and that's also what I always criticize about other books, and where I think that my book is unique to others. It's not just a novel or a detective story, but rather it's a book where you really have to work through. And I think that's very important in order to get better at poker. It's not just enough if you read a book, for example, before you go to sleep and fall asleep in the middle of it. That's not how you will get better. Also, if you read it and think, yeah, that's true and nice and I learned something, I also don't think that this is enough. So my book takes you by the hand and tells you exactly what to do. So there are 28 days, so 4 weeks, and every day has its dedicated topic, where there's an introduction to the topic, where theory is presented. The next part are the exercises, where you get to solve exercises on your own to this topic. Then there is the solutions part, where I represent my recommended answers to the questions or to the exercises. And the last part of each day is the practice section, where you get exactly told how you should practice this concept at the tables. I think that's the way how you can get better, not just by reading a book, but really by working through the book.
Well, basically, you're outlining the concepts, providing the work material. I still got to do the work, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's talk about, before I let you go, I got to ask about Warcraft. I'm not a gamer myself, but I understand that you were quite proficient at Warcraft. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Warcraft was really my big childhood, how do you call it? I can't find the right word.
Your childhood passion, your addiction, your game.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So I was really passionate and I thought about the game all the time. And same as in poker, I just wanted to get better and basically being the best, which wasn't that easy, to be honest. But yeah, I managed to be like the top 3 in Austria and Switzerland. And then one guy, sort of the best Austrian Warcraft 3 player, also switched to poker, and from there I also started out playing poker. So that's basically the long story short.
Now, are there similarities between the games? In other words, has Warcraft helped you out when it comes to poker?
That's a very interesting question. I think I have to think about it.
Okay.
I mean, you definitely have to put in your own thoughts to get better. So it's not just enough if you are watching videos of better players, but you also have to think about why do they do those things and how could they work in specific situations. So you definitely have to put in a lot of your own thoughts into it in order to be successful at both games.
Well, he's an instructor, folks, at pokerstrategy.com. He's the author of the book Strategies to Beat Small Stakes Pot Limit Omaha from Beginner to Winner in 28 Lessons. You can check it out at dnbpoker.com. Keep the name in mind, at Rulaz Poker on Twitter. Matthias Poom, crushing the game at Small Stakes PLO. Matthias, thanks for your time today. Good luck with the book on Twitch and in poker in general, man. Really appreciate it today.
Thanks for the interview, Derek.